Enfield has finally broken their year-long silence on the progress of the game by dropping both a beta trailer and a gameplay demo. And the game is looking quite promising, with it basically being a whole different game from what was released for its technical test. With that being said, it's now time to look at the 10 things you've missed. And by that, I mean I'll talk about some neat things in the trailer and demo and posit a few theories. You could call them game speculations. For those who have not played the original Arknights, this will also help you have some insight on the things that you see in the trailer. The first thing that you missed was the subscribe button, for real, so you should go hit that right now. Okay, shameless plug aside, let's actually get into the video. The first thing I want to mention is the potential time skip. We know from previous trailers that generations have passed since they came to Talos 2, and a deleted text file in the technical test said that we were 500 years into the future. However, the beta trailer shows us December 2018. Now, this is very likely linked to a possible ARG that is running alongside this trailer. If you are into that stuff, I wish you the best of luck in solving what the numbers mean. But let's ignore that likely reality and take it at face value that Enfield may be set 900 years into the future. This warrants a lot of questions. Why is Aurora here? While Surtur being alive is believable due to the long lifespans all the Sarkaz seem to have, why is a polar bear up and running? Was she frozen in an ice cube somewhere and woke up to find that they have access to a different world now? But I do think that it's funny that a random 5-star character got Captain America'd. While we may not be 900 years into the future, it is likely we are still pretty far into the future, due to the Gilberta description saying that her personality gives a sense of nostalgia to Warfarin. Which, press F for Angelina, we are now all Gilberta fans. The next little callback in the trailer is quite the cute one. Perlica's stance in front of what I assume is Talos 2, or the gas planet, is a direct parallel to Amia's stance in the beginning of Arknights, in which she's staring at a giant fuck-off reptilian eye of some type, which as far as I know, we have literally no idea what it is or how it relates to Rhodes Island or the story of Arknights. But Perlica is staring at her mission, which is to expand Frontier in Talos 2, so this might give some insight on what the giant eye means to Amia. Or it could mean nothing, who knows. We see the flower from the Babel PV show up here in the beta trailer. This has some pretty interesting implications, since the flower is rather important in the story from Babel, since the flower represents a reversal of the simulated universe. Because for those of you that don't know, essentially, the magical rock cancer Arknights are storage devices, in an attempt to simulate eternal life. The flower shows that data within can be pulled out and be made to create things. In Endfield, we see that Originium is still being used and used safely. It is no longer the hazard we see in Arknights. The flower showing up in the trailer could indicate that the future Theresa wanted did come to pass in some form, or this is just another thing being linked to the ARG. Now, a very exciting thing that can be seen for a single frame in the game demo is the presence of a weapon drop. This at least confirms that quests and overworld chests will give you weapons for your characters. This has now put me on full Hopia mode in thinking that there will not be any form of weapon banner system in the game, that all the weapons will be obtained either by quests and dungeon raiding or via crafting from the base side of things. We won't know till the beta releases, but it is a good sign. In the beta trailer, we see a familiar set of headlight type things show up for a brief second. These are the same lights that show up in the concept trailer for Arknights. It is the sarcophagus that lets our character in the original game hibernate. Now the links were pretty clear and accepted before, but this just strengthens it. In the description for the endings, we are told they must be put into hibernation for long periods of time before being able to wake them up again to do their job. The sterile white room filled contraptions imagery is used quite often in the Enfield trailers. It was the first thing shown in the teaser trailer for the game. It was an odd thing that was seemingly only used for Enfield, but with the release of Concept PV4, we finally have a parallel, when we see Priestess standing in a white room with presumably the sarcophagus that the Doctor is going to be put in. We can even see the updated version of this technology in another trailer with the whole giant machine above the Soul sarcophagus, which, by the way, looks much more comfortable than the PV4 version of it. This provides even more evidence that we really are the same person from OG Arknights, since these lights flash over silhouettes of our player characters. That, or our mysterious mastery over Originium, lets us tap into the data and see the past of our predecessor, the Doctor. In the trailer, we see a villain that has a striking resemblance to a character in OG Arknights. The pattern on her forehead looks like the ones that Velarkvin has. This would imply she is some sort of cyclops that can see into the future. But I'm not so sure since her horns look like creepy hands, and well, the Larquin doesn't have that. The other villain in the trailer also has a forehead mark, so it could just be that these things are used to identify rank or something. But let me know what you think. We see the motorbike from the CG trailer and the tech test just vibing in here, which is just a neat detail. The big explosion we see in the beginning of the trailer is quite the way to open, but if you look at the top ring, it is the same ring we see in the sky of the demo. This could be the inciting incident for us to wake up, or at the very least the first major story quest we go on. In the second section of the demo, we enter a new area we've never seen. Is what I would say if it didn't bear a striking resemblance to something that already exists in AK. The new area used the same aesthetic and probably technology as Danghuang from Shu's event. I mean, it even has a rice field. This could mean that either A, some of the Sui siblings have made a jump through the Stargate and set up shop on the new world, or B, that lots of the similar political powers will be seen in Enfield, with this new area being a part of the ad. In the process of this video, Wolfguard's marketing was released and he has the Syracusan accent, which leans into this idea more. Looking at Surtur's profile description, I know this isn't a trailer thing, but well, it's going in here anyways, we see that she still talks about demons, referring to the collapsals you fight in IS-4 and AK. This implies that the Stargate, while it was open and successfully used by those on Terra, can still malfunction and bring in SCP terrors onto this new land. Which means we might get to fight horrid SCP creatures in 3D, and that would be pretty cool. It also indicates that while many things are probably solved by the end of the Arknight story, a bunch of threats still exist and can still threaten people's new home on Talos 2. Now, this 10 isn't something that you miss visually, but perhaps the implications of it if you don't read lore or just wanting to try out Enfield and have no interest in the OG AK. The fact that we are in motherfucking space. Now, being in space would fit the setting, but there unfortunately is pre-existing lore. Namely, that space is a big no-no zone in AK, since there are these things called observers that will commit planetary genocide if you dare go into space and get found by them. So in the sections in both trailers with us just vibing in space gives us a lot of questions. There are a few possibilities. We know from the IS-4 logs that Calcit lets the people of Terra find data that would lead them to be able to do two things. First is they would be able to open and operate the Stargate, and second, they would be able to develop interstellar travel with this data. She also states that Terra is now united under one goal, and that they can fight the cosmic horror known as the Observers. So the options are 1. They fought and won. 2. They fought and lost and escaped through the Stargate. 3. They fought and are at least at a deadlock, and Enfield will end with us conquering Talos 2 and beating them. Or 4. We are just really far away, and it'll be some time till they find us, so we are just kinda chilling without a care in the world. Either way, I'm pretty interested to see why we are able to be in space without the cover of a star pod or something similar. And those are just 10 things I saw and wanted to talk about, and I could be completely off base with everything I just said. I mostly just wanted to make a video on Enfield and sprinkle some AK lore tidbits to let anyone interested in Enfield get a little taste of what is to come when the game comes out. At the end of the day, these are just theories, game speculations. Till next time.